Hello, 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 hello. This is Truth Be Told Podcast. I'm your host, Britt. Guys, today we have episode number 101 with Sunshine. How are you doing
I
today, Sunshine?
I am amazing, and I love that it's podcast episode 101 because I'm very into numbers and alignment and the one and the one. Yes.
So I thought about you whenever I did this episode, and I remember you telling me how you're in alignment and the manifestation, and I can't wait for you to share that with the audience. So I thought you would be perfect for 101.
On the divine day of 8/8, the 8/8 Lionsgate portal. And
Yes. God is amazing. Thank you for coming on the show today. Guys, today we are going to be talking about parenting the inner child. If you're new to this channel, please go like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube. I love you guys. We focus on mental health, healing, and we also just have real life conversations. So today, before we get started, I would love for Sunshine, who also goes by Melissa, to tell me more about herself and anything else she wants to share with the audience.
well, thank you so very, very much. I appreciate you having me here. I'm always happy to share and just like spread wisdom because I think right now with the earth where it's at and so much, shifting and evolving and expanding, like this wisdom and information and knowledge needs to be put out there. So thank you for holding that space so beautifully. Um, I live in Topanga, California, which is like in the canyon. It's just, as you can see, just in the middle of the oaks. It's beautiful, beautiful location. It was a beautiful manifestation. And I have two little girls that I homeschool. I do Waldorf homeschooling with them. And I went through a divorce about 5 years ago. We were living in Malibu, and that was kind of like a very pivotal transformational moment in my life. And so much growth and expansion happened from that because I could just see how it's like it could go one way or it could go another way. And the choice was mine. Like, do I want us to be in peace and harmony and for this to be a beautiful process, or is it going to be nasty and ugly and like, like for the kids' sake, it should be beautiful and harmonious because like we chose each other and like we attracted each other into one another's lives and we chose to have children together. So it's like for me, that's a huge passion of mine and something I'm now working towards is creating a program for moms that are going through divorce and like understanding like as women how truly powerful we are, that when we align within ourselves, no matter how dysregulated and disharmonious our relationship with our ex is or the divorce process we're going through, and I saw it with my own life, is as we shift and transform within ourselves and take back our power, we have an energetic cord that's still connected to us and the father of our children, and we cut that cord and set them free and set us free, and only harmony comes from there. And so I had to go through that journey to see that, which was so like powerful. And it's just a reminder, which this is like such the most perfect topic for today because I do a lot of work with moms and like teaching self-love and connecting back to ourselves when in the busyness and the everyday parenting journey, is how do we stay connected to ourselves while we've got so many other things that we're having to do. And so I do a lot of things with moms, but then recently someone that wasn't a mom said, well, can I come? I'm not a mom though. And I was like, actually, we're all moms to the most important child of all, which is our inner child, which brings us
Awesome.
in. Right? I was like, oh, right. Like we are all parents. We're parenting. So your question was so beautiful the way you asked it, because it was a different kind of question that I've been asked. But it's like, yeah, like how do we parent our own inner child? And I think that that is the most important work that we can do, because we might have children and we're parents to those children. But if we're not parenting our own inner child, then like we're going to see that reflection with our kids and it's going to show up in
Exactly.
so many ways.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Thank you so much for just giving us a snip of who you are and what you're becoming. You took your pain and you turned it into power. I know you hear that all the time, but just to actually, I can actually just see you going through those emotions because, at the end of the day, we are both human. But for you to take the charge over your life and decide the choice was yours to either be bitter or to come out in harmony. I give kudos to you and your spouse,
Oh,
your ex-spouse.
thank you.
I definitely do, because I really feel like as humans, as men, as women, we think different, but when we're so cordial, or we can at least be at peace with one another, especially when we have kids,
Yes.
it just says so much about who we are, because we're
Yeah.
entitled to those feelings. We're entitled to feel how we feel. But it just shows the growth in both of you, regardless of whatever. I just want to say
Oh,
congratulations.
well, thank you for like seeing that and honoring that. And like, it really truly is like a choice that we get to make. And sometimes in the throw of life, it can be very challenging when we're faced with these like, external challenges. But really, like, if we just continue to choose peace and harmony and love and compassion and being able to see the innocence in the other person, no matter how much harm or hurt or pain they've caused us, whether physical or who knows what, like when we can just continue to just see the innocence, then like that's everything right there. And it all comes back to our inner child, because it's not that we're doing it for them. We're able to see the inner child, the little boy, the little hurt, wounded boy that's maybe hurting us in ways that are unkind. So we just have compassion and love, because we have now compassion and love for our own inner child and our own selves. So we're able to have that. And that's like, I think, the core of this work on this earth,
Yes.
which is why this is such an important conversation.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for just telling us about parenting and how important it is to parent your inner child, regardless if you are a mom or a dad. It shows, like you said, the woman that wanted to come to your group. Like, hey, this looks interesting. So I'm sure she's getting that growth for herself, for her to be able to heal whatever wounds she has inside of her from that little girl that she was. So I just think this is amazing what you do. I would like for you to share with us, the audience, exactly where we can find Sunshine on social media, and it's also about your workbook. You said you had a workbook coming up.
Oh, I have an ebook that I'm working on. So I've
Ebook.
got a few things coming down the pipeline right now. My project is completing this ebook, which is basically, I know it's very exciting.
Yeah.
It was just an idea that came to me because I'm very also passionate about being in the kitchen and making amazing, delicious superfood that kids love.
Mhm.
And so everyone's always asking me for my recipes. And I just thought, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll like put a book together with all my recipes. And just that could be like my intro to the rest of the books that want to be birthed through me, because there's so many. And
Oh
it's not just a
man.
book on food, but it's a book on life, on living, on consciousness, on raising our children, on becoming intentional with eating and like
Yeah.
gratitude, and the love that we infuse into the food that we're making and how important
Right.
it is, and then like, yeah, so it's just like a lot of knowledge and education about that. And then the next thing is going to be the program for mamas that are going through divorce. I want to create a program, so that's one thing. And then completion, this is a time of completion. And
Yes.
number 9, 2025, the year of 2025 adds up to 9, which is a completion number. And I
That's
feel like
amazing.
this is the year of completion. And then next
Mhm.
year starts back at uh 1.
One.
So we start fresh.
Yes, it's all in alignment. I really do believe that. Where exactly, if somebody was looking for you on social media, Sunshine, where can we find you?
So the first place you can find me is on Instagram and Facebook. I am Mama Sunshine 111. It's MOMMA, not the other way around, MAMA. It's funny, I've always just spelled Mama MOMMA, and so
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, that's what it is. And then my website is mamasunshine.com, MOMMA sunshine.com. And Facebook, I think, is, you find me under that too.
Okay. I
Yeah.
definitely will make sure and add those details. So you guys make sure you look for Sunshine. She is amazing. I'm so excited to hear about these ebooks, especially the cookbook. I love to eat. Food is a love language. So I know that so many people can benefit from, the healthy benefits, as long as well as like the love that you express in the kitchen. So that's just amazing. So we're definitely going to go ahead and get started more into the topic, as we're talking about parenting inner self, inner child, parenting your inner child. So with parenting your inner child, when you think of that definition or what that means to you, can you elaborate on what you do and how you do that within parenting your inner child?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's very much a conscious decision in every moment of every day because, the mind has its own program running, and that is from our own childhood and our own parents. And it goes back 7 generations, their programming and their mindset and the education system and all of it. So, our mind is very like just running in circles and in this program. And so, the whole goal is to kind of slow it down, become more conscious, more aware, more present, and then really like tapping more deeply into the heart and into the present moment and understanding that like throughout our day, the minute we feel a feeling that feels off, oh, okay, what was I just thinking? Like really jumping to the thought of what created that feeling. Like this is how we really master ourselves. This is true mastery, right? Like that's the goal, and that's the reason that we're incarnated here, is to become masters and become masters of ourselves and masters of our mind. And so understanding that the mind is just continuously running programs and telling us stories that just aren't the truth. And so we have to become aware of the stories that we're telling ourselves by every day having a meditation practice. This is what I speak about a lot because it's really important. You can't move beyond the program of the mind if you never meditating, because your mind's just going to keep going and going and going and like thinking of all the things that like you need to do that you haven't done. And it also has old stories and limiting beliefs underneath all of that. And so the parenting of the inner child is really just making a daily practice of meditation and like dropping into our heart and just like having compassion for ourselves, like just feeling that compassion and understanding that like even when we're going through the most challenging times, we need to love ourselves. We need to be there for ourselves because we have this tendency when we're going through challenges to be really hard and critical of ourselves and like get really hard on ourselves. And it's like, no, that's the time where we have to be gentle and loving and compassionate with ourselves and soften more and soften into our heart. And so, yeah, the parenting the inner child is really making a daily choice of practicing the meditation, number one, becoming more present, connecting into the heart, just feeling the energy of love and feeling the energy of our heart, and then dropping into compassion and deep love and understanding that nobody else is going to do it for us but us. And it's like the most important work that we can do, and understanding that we're all perfect divine beings of God and we're all one and we're all interconnected. So it's like once we have that understanding that we're all connected, that we're all gods, that we're all divinely powerful, then it's like then what's standing in the way? It's just the thoughts again. So it's like continuing to come back to heart. And
Mhm.
also another powerful practice that I have is you can do it throughout the day, even like you can be driving somewhere or you can be like just going around your day, but having it in the back of the mind of like there's a little girl in there, little Melissa's in there, and she just needs love and she just needs to be like seen and heard. And I have a meditation practice on my YouTube channel, which I'll tell you the link to that too. I don't know exactly know it. I think it's my name, but anyhow, I have a really great inner child meditation that helps us connect to that little girl. And once we learn how to do it, it's a journey. And we have to take the first step to making that love connection. But then once we do, we can go about our day and just remember that little girl, like our own child, right? Like we try to be generally as kind and gentle as we can be with our kids. Like we would never be mean. I mean, there's times where we get triggered and frustrated, but for the most part, we're just like if they're, especially if they're babies, like we're kind
Correct.
and loving and gentle. Like see the little baby, see your little child, or see the little baby in you. If that's what it takes, and just see that sweet innocent little girl that just needed to be loved, or boy that just needed to be loved and seen and held and heard. And we are the ones that are there to give that love to us. And it can't come from anyone out there. And, like a lot of people ask me, how did I attract this beautiful man into my life? And I said, by going deeper into my heart and deeper into
Mhm.
self love, because it's like, it's not out there what we're looking for. That's the illusion. We think it's something out there, the abundance and the money, it's an energy. And it's like when we align with that feeling of abundance, that we understand, oh, I am the portal of abundance. If I'm a god, then I'm like connected to the infinite source of it.
Mhm. I
And once
love that you said all of this and that everything is, I keep saying, going back into alignment with today, with what we're discussing. The practices that you use for parenting the inner child, you're talking about manifestation, and you're talking about just bringing it back to love and being centered. It took me to go through something, Sunshine, to realize that this is actually real. So that's why I'm having you explain it to the audience, because somebody like me who was down and out or went through something and didn't know where to turn to, I had to start looking deep within myself and had to realize that I had to parent my inner child. I had to learn what that meant. So I started like a routine early in the mornings, and everybody's routine looks different, but I am actually meditating in the mornings, and I try to make sure I do it in the evenings too. I try to do it as much as I can,
Mm.
but I'm trying to slow myself down more because I'm not that type of person. So I'm glad that you're explaining what
Okay.
parenting the inner child is. Is there any other
Mm.
steps or
Well,
anything else that
I'll
we can
say,
discuss?
yeah, something else that was very helpful, because sometimes it is hard to like, well, how do I make that connection? And how do I
Mhm.
like feel that feeling? And how do I, what I did to start was I printed a baby picture of me and I brought it everywhere I went. It was in my car with me every time I got in my car. There it was. I had one in my bathroom with the mirror there, and I would look at it. And I would always just see that little girl and just like, how could I not be loving when I'm looking at that little girl? That's me. So
Mhm.
that was a really good practice for learning how to love that little girl. And then another way was just looking into my eyes in the mirror, something we don't actually ever probably we don't do enough. Like, we go in
No.
the mirror, but we don't, like, look at ourselves like, "Oh, hey, Melissa, I love you. You're
Yeah.
amazing." Like,
Yeah.
we don't do that very often. Um,
You're right. I think that I don't know why it's hard for me. Some people are like they can take pictures, they can, continue to look at their self, but depending on who you are and where you are on your journey, I know for me sometimes it is hard to look dead at myself and just realize, okay, Brittany, take a step back and realize where you are and who you are and whose you are, and where you're at in that present moment. So I'm so grateful that you let us know what parenting your inner child was. You already went into self-love, but can you elaborate a little bit more as we keep discussing parenting your inner child about how Melissa gives herself self-love? I know you're always pouring into others, but I wanted to say that first.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, that's a good question. It's a really good question, especially for today, because, I've been super busy with just summer and my kids, and I just did this beautiful coming of age ceremony for my older daughter who just is turning 12, and I've been doing workshops and events and holding space for women's circles. So there's been like a lot happening. And today, I was like, today, after we get off this call, I'm going to take myself to a beautiful place called Ojai and get myself a
Oh.
massage and take myself out to lunch and go to my favorite tea place and buy myself tea. And it's like, there's a part of me that's like, oh, I could just stay home and hang out here and paint. But I'm like, no, I need to like give myself, stop the doing and just receive. And so it's really just making that time for ourselves. Like, it's so important, that self-love, even like putting ourselves first. Because I remember when I was married and with my kids, it was really hard for me to like go out to dinner with friends or to just do something for myself. But like, our children need that. It's the most important thing we can do, is to fill our glasses full and take care of ourselves. And we're so much better off for everyone when we do. And so, yeah, I mean, like, self-love is really just giving ourselves the permission to just have to give ourselves like time for ourselves, take ourselves shopping sometimes, or to a nice lunch, or for a massage. But it can look different. It can look different for all different people, like, we have to be like showing ourselves self-love for sure.
Yes, I see the paintings in the back, and you say you paint. So, did you paint those behind you?
And my surfboard.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing, Sunshine. I love it. I love it. I love art. I love anything that you're using your gifts. You're showing yourself self love. I'm so grateful that you're taking yourself out after this and just enjoying you and
Yeah.
sitting in that moment and loving you. We don't do it enough, and then we have to burn ourselves out first, or we have to go through a heartbreak, or we have to, whatever the case is, finances. It could be so much, family, or it could be mental. I believe, I talk a lot about mental health. And this leads into my next question, but you've already pretty much said it as far as the steps that you're taking for parenting your inner child. Anybody that's suffering, like mentally,
Mhm.
that just can't get in a place to where they can feel that love and be centered. Is there any advice that you could give that person?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a good question. I find that like the meditation is powerful, yes, but sometimes, like you said, the mind is going. So it's like I'm sitting here trying to meditate, but my mind is not like getting still and present. And so basically, yeah. um what I would say is breath work. Breath work is really powerful. It's like oxygenating ourselves. It helps us to like snap out, to come back into the present. Like there's certain tools that are really powerful for tapping, for example.
Okay, I've heard of
Certain
that.
things that are really good for just like bringing ourselves, bringing our bodies back into balance, into harmony. And also, I mean, what I always say too is really just having the deeper understanding that like everything that is showing up in my external reality right now is just a reflection of whatever is going on within me.
Inside me.
You know,
Yes.
and so it's like now I could look at these challenges and be like, "Oh my god," like, literally, I got a dog bite 2 weeks ago, like, insane painful dog bite,
Oh, you
and at
okay?
first it brought up so much pain and anger, but then after I was like, "Thank you for that," because I had to go through that deep pain and that experience to bring up whatever was, like,
No.
underneath there, and so it was really a powerful healing experience. So having that understanding that, like, whatever's showing up in our external reality is a greatest teacher, whether we're in a challenging situation with our ex-husbands or a friend or finances, like, when we can say thank you, even though it seems mental and, like, crazy, how can I say thank you that I have no money and I'm on the street? Or how can I say thank you that my husband cheated on me? Or but when we can actually do that, understanding that we are gods, then we are showing God that we trust in God, we trust in the higher power, we trust in source, whatever we see that as.
Yes.
Then we say thank you from a space of love, like, "Thank you for this experience," and we then it makes space for greater things to flow into our lives, and, I only know that from my own experience of going through my own pain and my own journey, and it was like, once I realized, like, "Oh, right, like, this isn't happening to me, it's happening for me."
For
So
me.
yeah, like, thank you for this experience, as painful and hard as it is and how much pain I'm currently in. I am the creator of whatever's happening in my external reality. So what am I doing? What happened within me? And maybe it's not a conscious thing because our mind wants to be like, no, I didn't create this. But there's something on an energetic level because we're all energy, right? And we're all like magnets. So I've magnetized this relationship into my life to teach me some lesson. It's not just, oh, this person did this to me and they're a bad person. Like, no. What did I do? What's going on within me that attracted that energy in? Like, where was I not loving myself? Coming back to the self-love and then the inner child, because that's really all this is. And
Right.
I remember when I met my partner, I was like on this healing journey, doing like medicine journeys, and then I was going to do big, like one of the bigger medicines, I think Iboga.
Oh.
He says to me, "What's it going to take for you to realize that the healing has already been done and that you're already whole?" And I was like, "Whoa, I never thought about that before. I've been on this healing journey. The healing, it's all about the healing.
Right.
Once we can just move past the healing and know that we're already whole, then it kind of shifts everything. And like understanding that we really truly are already whole. It's just the mind and the programming that's limiting us.
Oh
And
my
it's,
gosh.
we're
This is amazing.
oh, I'm so glad. And because it's like we all have the power to do that. Like we're all that powerful. I'm not like superhuman, that's for sure. But like I was able to transform so many things in my life just from aligning more within my heart and my truth and my worth. And it's all about our worth. And like I'm worthy of having everything I want. And that just comes from like deep self-love. Deeper
Mhm.
self-love. And it's a journey. I'm not saying I'm like I love myself and I'm the most amazing, because it's a continuous journey. Like I've come this far and I'm just continuing to grow and expand. But definitely, it's not like I'm done now, I love myself, it's like always
No,
he
no,
wants to.
but listen, Sunshine, what I love that you have told the audience today is just how to love yourself where you're at. Like, regardless if you're full of sunshine today or you're in a pit of mud, you just can take that one initial step to actually be still, be present in the moment, and just kind of be still with where you are and what's going on internally in you instead of looking out for it in different things,
That's
whatever you're doing.
That's everything right there. We have the key to unlock the door, and once we understand that we are the creators and that everything happening out there is just a mere reflection of something deeper within ourselves that is asking to be healed and loved, then we get to use the key to open our heart, and we get to, continue to grow and expand.
I love it. And I also wanted to thank you for saying how you shifted or how your husband told you to that you're already whole, because I know we're speaking to the audience, but I needed to hear that today because I've been on a healing journey really since 2020.
Right.
And I say it all the time because I lost my grandparents, but I lost my dad back when I was 19. So I've really just been dealing with sickness and going through like hit after hit, and I didn't understand how to deal with my emotions. But when my grandmother's passed, your lifeline, it took me
Yeah,
out. And
yeah.
so I really had to sit with myself and realize, Brittany, why you're so angry, why you're so mad, why you're so bitter, or what's going on around you that's making you feel the way you feel about yourself. And seeing where I'm at today, this work that you're talking about, it does exist. And
Yeah.
so I'm just grateful that you came on the show today.
I'm so glad. I was like you too. I was on that journey for so long of doing so many healing modalities and this work and that work and that, da, 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 da. And I'm like, oh, I love the idea that we're already whole. That kind of shifts everything. You're like, oh, I don't have to like do all this healing work. I just have to meditate and come back to my heart and like come back to self-love and presence and remember that like everything is in this present moment. When we can step into it, everything is perfect and divine in our external reality. Maybe it isn't showing up that way in this now moment, but once we can step into the perfection of this present moment, then our external reality just becomes a reflection of the perfection that we have found from within.
Yes, yes, I love it, and you're exactly right. And I want to thank you so much for coming on here and just giving us this information. Me and you could talk all day because this is really what I like. I breathe. Now I'm just gonna be stalking you. So don't.
Oh,
I've
boy.
already stalking you privately because I was Deb's friend because of what you do.
Mm,
But now that you came on the show, I'm really just rooting for you and your ebooks and how you're helping those divorced women.
mm.
God is doing some amazing things, and I'm glad that you're in the month of endurance and just it's time to go. You're making moves. So
So
congratulations.
thank you. I really appreciate you for doing this work and bringing great interviews and putting it out there and sharing, all this different wisdom from different places. And it's beautiful.
Thank you. And it's one other question that I like to ask my audience before they leave, and this is a good question since we're talking about parenting the inner child. If you could look back at that baby picture or go to your 14-year-old self, Melissa, what would you tell her today?
You are perfect. You are divine. You are whole. You are beautiful. You are pure love. And just remember the perfection that you are.
Yes. Okay. Okay, Sunshine. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for tuning in today, y'all. I just want to thank you again. Please go like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube. We are signing out. I want to thank Sunshine, aka Melissa, for coming on the show today. This is episode number 101. Parenting the Inner Child with Sunshine. We are signing out. You guys have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Melissa.
you. Thank you.